budget we're working with is 2,000 bucks. This build is gonna be super sleek. So this video is gonna be a complete build guide. So if you've never built a PC before, you've come to the right place. I got you. I don't care if you're a beginner and you've never built a PC before. By the end of this video, we give you guys the confidence to build your very first rig. We break down the video into 3 parts. First, we're gonna go over all the parts and their prices. Second, we jump into the build guide where I show you guys how to assemble the entire system from start to finish. And then third, we put this build to the test against a lot of current popular titles. We frag it up at the end. We have a lot of fun doing it. We're gonna play esports titles, AAA titles. I have a racing simulator set up now too. That's new. Boom. And I set up the VR again, so that's back. Woo! Excited for that. So yeah, a lot of testing is gonna happen for this, but we had to bring back VR for the $2,000 build with the 4080 Super. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You will not be disappointed with this build's performance in all the categories: video editing, streaming, gaming. Because it's 2,000 bucks, it better be good, right? Before we jump into it, just know that we have plenty of build guides here on the channel. So if your budget's a little bit lower, a little bit higher, anything you want as far as your build, trust me, you'll find a guide that will fancy your needs on the channel. Anyways, guys, all parts used for this build are also linked in the video description. Okay, let's do it. So first, what are we gonna be unboxing? Our RTX 4080 Super, of course. This is the ZOTAC Gaming GeForce RTX 4080 Super in the white colorway. Trinity OC Edition. White Edition. A lot of additions going on right there. Let's open this up. Okay, here it is, here it is. Woo! There, oh, not yet, not yet. But now, here we go. Very nicely packaged. And here we have our beautiful RTX 4080 Super in the white colorway. For the power, it's gonna take that new input, which I have a special cable for that. I'll show it to you right now after we finish going over this. 3 display ports, 1 HDMI as usual, 2 slot card. It comes with a GPU support in white as well. And it comes with the power adapter cable. But we don't want to use this, guys. We don't want this on display in the front of our build and have 3 disgusting looking A pins of power in the front of the build. It's gonna look horrendous. It's gonna look so bad. So we picked up this cable. So the cable plugs in directly to the card. Right away, you can see why this is so much better. And this end of it is gonna hook up directly to the power supply we're gonna be using. The power supply that we're using for this build does have a special input where you can plug this right into the power supply. All right, so moving on to our power supply. This is the GM850W gold rated power supply. And let me go ahead and show you that special input I was talking about. And 850 watts is enough juice for our build here today. Not all power supplies have this. That new 16-pin input for our RTX Nvidia cards. Cables of the power supply, everything that we're going to be using will be found in this box. We'll get that out later. Now for the CPU that we chose, my favorite CPU for gaming, the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. We've used this CPU in past builds. Amazing CPU for gaming because it makes our graphics card run at 100% utilization for like every single game. I love the CPU for gaming, guys. 8-core CPU, 16 threads, gonna get the job done. Now what we're gonna be using to cool our CPU is a Thermalright heatsink. It has 2 120mm fans in the white colorway. It does come with its included thermal paste, but we're gonna be using some Corsair thermal paste instead, and this should get us slightly better temps. It's just like, this is a pricey build, 2,000 bucks. I just wanted to pick up some higher quality thermal paste to pair with the heatsink. I want the temps to be good for this build. It's a pricey build, 2,000 bucks. For the motherboard, we've used this motherboard before, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video. This is a GIGABYTE AORUS board rocking the B650 chipset, the AORUS Elite AX Ice. AX, meaning it has its built-in Wi-Fi. Let's open it up. See how icy it is. Oh, this is a beautiful motherboard. This one is very sick. Look at that. Let me give you guys the close-up. Ooh, that's a nice board. Tons of ports, so many USB ports. You got your Type-C port. In the front, it has support for 1 M.2 SSD right here and 2 M.2 SSDs under here. So this motherboard supports 3 M.2 SSDs. Oh, this build is gonna look so sick, man. We're gonna get out Wi-Fi antenna. If you're gonna be using your Wi-Fi, I'm gonna use wired as always. And that's it. For our RAM, boom. Crucial by Micron. 32 gigabytes of DDR5, guys, 6,000 MTs in the white colorway. It's AMD Expo ready. Cool, great. For the storage, guys, a 1 terabyte WD Black M.2 SSD, speedy storage at a great price. 1 terabyte. If you need more storage, buy more storage. For our case, a lot of great parts in this build, man. I'm excited for a lot of them. And it doesn't end with the case. Of a case opening was that. There we go, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, Thermaltake ATX form factor case, just like our motherboard. This is the View 270 TG. Oh God, oh, come on. There we go. Look at the colorway of this case, guys. Yes, unique, man. That's what we need in these PC cases, man. We need color. Okay, it has two RGB 120 millimeter fans right here, pre-installed for you. It's gonna suck in the cold air from here, and then it comes with one 120 millimeter fan back here to get rid of the hot air. It's a white and blue colorway is what it's rocking. That is all our essential components. Total price, boom, right there up on the screen right now. All parts used for the build, linked in the video description. Now we're gonna move on to our second parts list. This list of parts is totally optional. It's just for aesthetics. That includes this cable that we went over, right? You don't need that, but I highly recommend it. It looks sick. And for the lighting, we're gonna be using our Crater RGB LED strip kit, 2 strips, strong magnetic attachments, the wiring to wire it to the motherboard, easy installation, gonna add a nice splash of light inside your build. Definitely want that. We wanna show off our components. And for the cables, we're gonna be using our custom sleeve power supply extension cables right here. So this will be on display in the front of our build. Got a beautiful little white and blue colorway going on right here. Gonna match everything. It's gonna look sick for the big 24-pin power cable. Our Funko Pop of choice. And look at this Funko. It's gonna match the color theme as well. Star Wars Funko right here. The Mandalorian Heavy Infantry. Why do we throw Funko Pops in the PCs? Because it just gives them character. And that's it. That's all the optional parts. Let's jump into the build guide. Here we go. So let's open up our CPU and get out our little Ryzen 7 7800X 3D CPU. If we take a close look at our motherboard, you're gonna see an arrow right here on the top left of the CPU socket. If we take a look at our CPU, you're also gonna find an arrow on the top left side of it. So get this lever, pull it to the side, and all the way up, lift this up, and line up the arrow of your Ryzen CPU with the arrow on the CPU socket, arrow to arrow. And we're just gonna hover it right over and then let it drop right into place. And there's the close-up, guys. That's how it should look. It will fall right into place. And now we can close this. And now to secure it, we're gonna return this lever to its original position. Make sure this metal part is over this to secure this down. And we're going to all the way down and back in there, tucked in. This thing will then come off by itself. So you can see it already kind of released. Sometimes they just pop out though. Get out of there. There, we did it with our finger. Manually. When you're putting down this lever, you're gonna feel resistance. Don't be scared, you're not gonna break anything. It's normal. You're supposed to feel some resistance and then you just bump, bump, tuck it in right there. Now we need to remove these 4 screws to remove these 2 brackets. So now it's time to install our cooler for our CPU. So let's get this open. This is what we want to get out of the box. The 2 fans, the heatsink of course. These are the metal attachments to secure the fans to the heatsink. This is a splitter cable that we're gonna need, more on that later. The thermal paste that comes with, but we don't know how good this is, right? That's why I'm gonna use some Corsair thermal paste and this bag right here, AM4/AM5 for the mounts, and these 2 brackets. They say AM4 on them. These are the ones we need. Still works for AM5. First things first, open up this bag and put these red stands on all 4 points. Great. Next, put on the brackets on top of the points, down like that. Make sure it's in that position. And now we secure it with the screws. And when you're screwing it in, just keep turning till your screwdriver stops. All right, so now our heatsink. If we take a look, you want to make sure you remove this protective film. And now these 2 screws are going to screw into these 2 points right here. So we're just going to line it up and then screw them in to secure. But first we need to apply thermal paste. So here we have our Corsair thermal paste, and we're going to want to put a pea-sized amount in the middle of our CPU. All right, that's definitely like a squash. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we have our thermal paste there. And now I'm going to go ahead and look down here to make sure I'm lying it down right on the 2 points. All right, now I'm gonna be using the screwdriver and I'm gonna just hold it so it doesn't move around. And I just want it to secure onto the first bracket a little bit. There you go, that's good. I'm not gonna finish tightening that down. We don't wanna do that because then it's gonna make it difficult to get the other side to secure. So now I want to get this other side to secure. All right, cool. Now we can finish screwing off this first side. So I'm just gonna keep turning a little bit. All right, let's move on to the other side. Turn that one a little bit. just to maintain even pressure, guys, as we're securing this. Keep screwing till your screwdriver stops. Secured. So now time to attach our fans to the heatsink. Get rid of all these metal ties, guys. You don't want metal ties near your system. The metal touches your motherboard and shorts something. We don't want that to happen. So for our first fan, we're gonna get this piece of metal right here, and you just put it through the 2 points of the fan. So right there and right here. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side, through there and through there. All right, so on the right side of our motherboard, guys, this is where it's gonna be sucking in the air from into here, cold air, and then hot air out through the back. So wanna put the fan in the position where it's gonna suck air through the heatsink. So it's in this position, the black side of the sticker on this side to the right, this other side with the white sticker. That's what's gonna be on the heatsink. And we're just going to line it up on the heatsink and then simply pull this piece of metal back and attach it onto the heatsink, and then same thing for the other side. Attach this piece of metal back here on the heatsink. Done. There, that's the first fan. Same thing for the second one. Got the metal attachments on there. Again, black sticker on the right side, white part of the sticker on the left side. We're gonna put this one in the middle right here, and then pull and attach onto heatsink. Other side. All right, perfect. Now we have our nice little beautiful white heatsink. It's ready to go. Now we gotta wire this thing. So now for the fans, let's take a look at the cables of it. So for the first fan, it has one cable which powers the fan, and then it has this 3-pin 5-volt RGB cable which powers and controls the lighting of the fans. So we're not worrying about the lighting right now. We're just worried about the fans. So we have this cable for the first fan and then the other cable for the second fan. That's where this cable comes into play. That came included with the heatsink. This is a fan splitter, and what it does is it's gonna connect both of the fans together, and now these two fans are now going to connect through a single input, and this input needs to connect to our CPU fan header. I'm gonna plug it in and then give you guys the close-up. There it is, guys. So right now we're at the top right of our motherboard, and it's labeled CPU fan. So it's just a middle fan header right there. Now for the lighting capabilities of those two fans, let's take a look at the remaining two cables we have here. We want to remove the cover from one of them, and now we're going to connect this to the other cable by matching up arrow to arrow. There we go. So now what we did is we linked up the two lighting capabilities of the fans. They're in a chain system now. This is called a daisy chain system. Now we're gonna hook up this end to the motherboard, and it's right here. 5-volt 3-pin RGB header. This cable only goes in one way, so we're gonna plug it in. So the arrow is gonna be on the right side. All right, beautiful, we're done. Heatsink is installed, CPU installed. Now we need to install our RAM. This fan is covering our RAM slots. Let's go ahead and undo this fan for a second. Lay that to the side for now. Okay, so here we have our RAM slots. We want to pull the levers back of the second and fourth RAM slots. That is where we're going to be putting in our 2 sticks of RAM, onto the second and fourth RAM slot. So when installing our RAM, we want to make sure we locate the indent of the RAM, and that needs to line up with the part of the RAM slot that's not indented. So we want the crucial text on the left side, and we're going to put it in and then push down with both thumbs equal force, and the RAM's gonna go down all the way, and both of these levers are gonna clip back up. Same thing for the second stick of RAM. Get it into place. Remember, RAM only goes in one way. Make sure it's lined up correctly. Crucial text on the left side for this kit of RAM, and push down both thumbs equal force. Boom. RAM's gonna go down all the way. Both levers are gonna come back up, and there we go. We have our beautiful 32 gigabytes of RAM installed. And now let's clip our fan back on. There we go. Looking good, looking good. Next, installation of our M.2 SSD. So we're gonna put our SSD right here. We need to undo this heatsink with a 0 screwdriver. Get this out of there. And now put our M.2 into here and lay it down on the standoff. Move this around though, so it could lay down all the way. And then you push this over here to hold down the M.2 SSD. And there you go, it's into place. Now before putting the heatsink back on, make sure you remove the protective film. And now put the heatsink back on, and that's it. Very easy SSD installation. Done. Now we're ready to put our motherboard inside our case. So let's get the front and back panels off. Now back here, we can undo this tie to release the case cables. Here's our accessory bag with the screws we're gonna need. So when you're putting your motherboard inside your case, you want to make sure that the motherboard standoffs inside the case are in the appropriate layout to support your motherboard. So our motherboard's the ATX form factor, and The standoffs are already in the ATX layout for us, so we don't need to modify any of the standoff positions. We're good to go. This back fan right here, the cables of it are tied up in a metal tie, so I'm just undoing the metal ties, just getting those out real quick. So we're gonna get our motherboard inside, and we wanna line up our I/O shield and the ports of the motherboard back here with the back side of the case. Should look just like that. And now I'm going to line up the motherboard with the middle standoff, where I'm pointing right here. All right, now we're gonna secure our motherboard with this screw that came with the case. I'm gonna secure all 9 points. Then at the end, we'll go over all the points that we screwed in. Now, before we go over all the ones we screwed in, I'm gonna wire all the cables of our heatsink to the back of the case. So everywhere we screwed in the motherboard, we're gonna circle red. So 1 here, here, and here. So 3 on the top. Now let's go to the bottom. Here, 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 here. So 6 then on the bottom. Now we're gonna be installing our power supply. We need to prep it first. We're only gonna be hooking up 3 cables to it. The big 24-pin power cable, and then 2 CPU cables. So the big 24-pin one looks like this. So when you compare these, so when you get both ends of this cable, the side that's longer, that's the one that plugs into the power supply. Right here where it's labeled 28-pin, we're gonna plug in the cable, make sure it goes in all the way. There we go, and it clips in there. So this end is a 24-pin side that then plugs into the motherboard. Instead of this plugging in directly to the motherboard, we are going to be using our extension cable. So this could be on display in the front. It's going to look way better. We're going to plug in this end to the extension, get it in all the way, get it to clip. Now this is going to hook up to the motherboard instead of this end. Now for our 2 CPU cables, when looking at the CPU cable, one of the ends says CPU, that's the one that plugs into the power supply. So we're just gonna plug it in right here where it's labeled CPU, get that in all the way. And same thing for the second CPU cable, side that says CPU, plug it in right here. One last cable. Let's go ahead and hook up the graphics card power cable already, the 16-pin. So we're gonna hook it up right here. So let's just get that in. All right, now we're ready to put the power supply in. So here we are in the back of our case. When putting in our power supply, you want to make sure the fan of the power supply is facing down, and we're just going to slide it in right here behind the case and line it up, and then we're going to secure it with 4 screws. Screws for this come with the power supply, and the case also comes with extra screws. All right, power supply is secured, and we're almost done, guys. Now it's time to start plugging in cables. So we break down all our cables into 3 groups. So the first group of cables is all the power supply cables from the power supply that power things. Our second group of cables is all our case cables that connect things like the power button, the USB ports, the Type-C port, and the headphone jack. And our third group of cables consists of all our fans and the lighting of our build. First group of cables are power cables. We're gonna first be hooking up our big 24-pin cable. There's a clip right here, and we want that to clip back here. So we're gonna line it up straight, just like that, and then push it in all the way and have it clip. So there we go. Next, we're gonna go to the top left side of our motherboard. Right here in the very back is where we're gonna plug in our CPU power cables. These 2 guys right here. Now for one of them, we're gonna plug in the full 8 pins of the cable, but for the second cable, we're only gonna be plugging in half of the cable, only 4 pins. So let's go ahead and hook up half of the first CPU cable, only 4 pins on the left side right there. And we want the cable to clip on the top side. There we go, that is in, and there you go, guys. The first one looks like that. The clip is on top. And now we're gonna plug in the second CPU power cable. For this one, all 8 pins are gonna be plugged in. So I'm gonna line it up, looking from the top of the case, and there we go. Once I get it lined up with the clip on top, and then push in all the way till it clips. There we go. And our last power cable is for our graphics card. We're gonna save that for later. Moving on to our second group of cables, our case cables. So I'm just wiring our case cables to the front of the case. First case cable, our HD audio cable, only goes in one way with the HD audio text right there facing down. And this cable plugs in all the way to the left, right here. Line it up straight, push it in all the way. There we go. Next is our F panel cable. Our F panel cables can hook up all the way to the left side of this section right here. So remember, with the F panel text facing up, there we go. I'm gonna line it up like that and push it in all the way. Remember, make sure the F panel text is facing up. And now we're gonna move up here and we're gonna plug in our USB 3 cable. This is for our USB 3 ports of the case, and this cable has a hump right here, and there's another little opening here where the hump lines up. So line up our USB 3 cable straight. Be careful not to bend the pins and then push it in all the way. Yeah, just make sure you line it up straight, then you push it in. And last case cable, our USB-C cable plugs in right here. Our Type-C cable only goes in one way, so if it doesn't go in the first way, all mine did. But if it didn't, you simply unplug it, you simply flip it over, and then that'll be the right side. That's in. And that's it, guys, for the case cables. We're moving super fast. Moving on to our third and final group of cables, our fans and our lighting. So here we are in the back of our case, and we're gonna wanna locate our fan cables. So we have two fans right here, and these are the fan cables right here, these thin wires. And for the back fan over here, here are the wires of that one. Unplug this real quick so I can get all my fan cables together. There we go. Then plug it back in. All right, so here we have all the fan cables, and all three of the case fans are already hooked up together in a daisy chain system. They're all linked. Let me undo this tie right here. I know this is all like a spaghetti mess, but you're gonna wanna find the end of both of the cables. So the first end is this black cable right here. All three of the fans are hooked up to this three-way fan splitter. So once you hook up this to the motherboard, it's gonna hook up all three fans to the motherboard. Now for the lighting capabilities of the three fans, it's this cable right here, a 5-volt 3-pin RGB cable. The lighting of all three fans are all linked up already. So once you hook up just this single end of this chain system, it's gonna hook up the lighting of all the fans. So we just need to hook up these two ends to the motherboard, and that's it. We're done with all the fans and the lighting of the fans. So for the two fans that are part of our heatsink that cool our CPU, the cables of that are right here. And here's the lighting chain of that. So now go ahead and disconnect this end, and you can go ahead and continue the daisy chain of the lighting by combining it with the three case fans, simply by hooking it up like that. There we go, we lined it up, arrow to arrow. So there we go, that's done. And now we just need to find a system fan header on the motherboard and plug this into it. And there's one right there. There it is, guys. This is a 4-pin fan header, but it's okay if we only hook up this 3-pin fan cable to the 4-pin fan header. It will still work. And now we've hooked up all three fans of the case and their lighting capabilities. We're good to go now. Now for our Creator RGB LED strip kit, I'm gonna be throwing both of these strips into here as well. One right here and one on the side. I'll link a video in the video description on how to install this in more detail, but right now I'm just gonna install it in the time lapse. All right, guys, we're almost done. Now it's time to install RTX 4080 Super. First, we need to make room for it. We're gonna be removing two brackets. The second bracket, by pushing in, there we go, just pulled it down from the bottom. So there's the second one gone, and now the third bracket. By just going up and down right here, it'll fall right off. We're gonna be putting our 4080 Super into this PCI slot. So get this lever and push it back. Gotta get the protective rubber off our 4080 Super, and we're gonna line it up straight. And once we have it in, we just push in all the way. And that lever will clip back up, and there we go, our 4080 is in. Now we just need to secure it with two screws right here. We're using the screws that came with the case. All right, 4080 Super's in, and we have it secured. Close this thing back up, and now we need to give it juice. So let's get our power cable. Now, just wiring this cable from the back of the case to the front. Plug it in. Perfect. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we're done, guys. It's complete. Now time for the final touches. We're gonna cable manage the back, put the Funko Pop in, and slap both of the panels on. Then we're gonna boot it up for the first time. And it's complete, guys. Let's get the lights off. All right, first boot up, guys. Here we go. I'm really, really proud of how this one came out, man. Think of our build here today. This is one of my favorite ones we've done. Oh, this is such a nice build. Awesome, guys. All right, now before we put this beast to the test, we're gonna first need to install our operating system, Windows 11. I made a video on how to install Windows 11 from a USB flash drive for free. That video is linked in the video's description. And then we're gonna need to install drivers, a video on what to do after you're done building your system, such as installing all the drivers. That is linked in the video description as well. So there's a build guide on the channel to meet anyone's needs. So if you're thinking about making that jump into PC gaming for the first time, definitely do it. And if you have some buddies you want to take with you, definitely send them this video. And last, make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Creator Builds, linked in the video description. My socials are all in THQ. All right, guys, let's put this guy to the test. Settings for Call of Duty Warzone 2, 1440p res, reflexes on plus boost. For the quality settings, DLSS is set to quality. Here's the rest of the settings. And for the FOV 120, this stuff is off. Let's do it.
All work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, he's legend. Ready for whatever, I'll be front and center. Don't fly too close to the sun, your body chopping my propellers.
What gun you have, my guy? What gun is that?
This a marathon, not a sprint. Let's go 100 miles. From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down. That's the crown on me, wear it proud. Show 'em how we bounce. Stick around when we hold it down. Look at what we got. This a marathon, not a sprint. Let's go 100 miles. From the ground, with me to the clouds, never coming down. That's the crown on me, wear it proud. What they was talking about. All work, no pleasure. I ain't here to make friends, big stepper. Hey, bad guy, Heath Ledger.
We won, guys. Let's go. Yeah. All right, guys. Warzone 2 performance was solid. Tons of frames. That was a fun match. Moving on to the next one. Settings for Fortnite, 1440p resolution on performance mode. And here are the rest of the settings. Let's do it. Oh, crap. Oh, there's only 2 people left. It's like flying in the skies and there he is. Oh my goodness, dude. Missed so many shots. We won. Woohoo! Against the guy we encountered a while back. The jetpack was too much for him. Too much juking, boy. Performance was amazing for Fortnite performance mode at 1440p. Next one. Settings for Rainbow Six Siege, 1440p res, max FOV at 90. Here are the graphic settings. Let's do it. Diffusers on bottom.
One friendly operator remaining.
You guys ping them?
One friendly remaining.
Oh, shoot. Oh, oh, I was gonna shank you, mofo. Oh no. Dude, got him. Alright, man, Siege performance was great. Tons of FPS. Next one. Settings for Apex Legends, 1440p res, max FOV 110. Here's the rest of the settings. Let's do it. Missed. Oof. There you go. Oh my god. Alright, we won that one. Nice. Apex good. Next one. Settings for PUBG, 1440p res. Here are the rest of the settings. DX12, let's do it. guess so.
Execution was a plan with zero action. Faced with bad habits, knowing this a man into my imbalance. I'm somewhere between confidence and arrogance. The middle ground is treacherous. I work on getting out of it. Pops looking down, I feel him every time the sun shine. Back to being unsigned. I only got my bloodline. He's going forward, smoking
I got you, sucker. Here we go. Later, suckers. Dang, they actually won this round. Gotta give them props. They did it. What the heck? Oh my. Ah, hit fire, boy. Oh man. Oh my. Oh, you're lucky, man. Fudge. Victory. Oh, we got the most kills. Nice. Next one. Settings for Rust. 1440p res. Here are the graphic settings. And here's the image effects. Let's do it. Come on, Crumbs. Let's go. You and me. Stick together, Crumbs. Stick together. Let's go up. Let's go up. Let's go up. High ground. High ground. Never mind. Never mind. No! Oh. No! How much health do... If this guy, one of them doesn't go down, they're cheating. Nah! No! Oh, we got him down. Boom, son. Next game. Settings for Counter-Strike 2. 1440p resolution. For the advanced video settings, here they are. Let's do it.
It's a little cheap in my opinion, but...
I mean, I think it's an excuse to get him back.
Alright, I got two
but
of
I
them.
think it's weird. 41 kills.
Damn. Is my mountain, sir? Swap the skin. Grab the
I might have
admin
flagged the last one. Oh! So, hey.
That was awesome. For the first 5 rounds, I didn't get a single kill.
I'd ask though. He's sick. No, I heard him fuck
He almost got me. Dude, I've been loving and no, you're gonna be good. Go be.
Yeah, they're really back. Let's see where you're
It's not gonna spawn after 2 spawns. Like,
No!
last one window. Nice.
Ooh!
super good first.
Alright, we got a W. Next one. Alright guys, we're testing out Pavlov VR now. The settings are on Ultra for everything and 100% for the image scaling. Now, as far as the settings of the VR headset, it's also set at 100%, so max resolution and the max refresh rate as well. All right, let's do it. Thank you! Shit!
Congratulations, you just blew friendlies.
All right, time to save the day. I got a snapper. Oh! Stay back! Oh, threw a grenade! Later, motherfucker! Oh, right in the jugular! Woo! One sh. If he pops out, he's a dead man. Yeah, that's right. That's how we do it. Oh! Heck yeah, man! We gotta be careful. Oh! Inside a motherfucker! Oh! So... Oh my god! I'm ready to go pro, baby! We'll play some more VR in the next one, but this title performed great. Was at the FPS that we wanted pretty much the whole time. Settings for Helldivers 2, 1440p res, native render scale of course. For the graphics settings, mediums preset. Here are the rest of the settings. Let's do it. And all the other build guides that we were testing out at Helldivers, it was like on easy difficulty because I hadn't joined the hard lobby, so. What the heck? What are they doing, dude? Crazy over here. I just joined. All right, where are these guys at? Ready to fight? Ah! What? My teammate killed me. No, never took me alive. All right, guys. Well, that's how Divers 2 for us performs pretty good. We're getting above 140 FPS right now. Pretty good, pretty good. Next one. Settings for Red Dead Redemption 2, 1440p res, reflex, low latency, on plus boost. Here's the rest of the settings. Let's do it. Oh, one shot and you were down, boy. No way. There you go, that did it, punk. Hey, man, you didn't see anything, all right?
Please, don't hurt me. What you saw back there, you're a dead man. You understand me? I promise. On second thoughts, you can give me all your money, too. I'm wasting my time. Just get out of here.
What the heck?
Get your foot out of here! Help! Help me over both dead! Get it! Come on! Thank you, sir. Oh no, you don't! Let's get you home. Home? But
What the heck is this? Oh, my beautiful views.
you better sleep your way to salvation, my friend.
Mission complete. Who is not without sin? Next one. All right, guys. Next, we're gonna be testing out Assetto Corsa at 4K resolution. Here's the effect settings. Here's the view and the reflections. Let's do it. Oh my goodness, we're just over. Oh yeah! What are you doing? Wanna play like that? Let's go. Later, losers. Not today. Later. Come on, Corvette! Show these Mustangs we ain't playing around. We're doing good, guys. We're actually keeping up with the cars. Oh my goodness. Good job. Beautiful maneuvering. Dang, baby, today. No. 7th place. But let's try again. All right, now they're done for. Whoa. Whoa, this car's so fast. No way. Whoa, look how good it turns. You're going down, Mustangs. Oh my goodness. Oh God, oh God. No, bro, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up, bro. Oh yeah, we're still in 1st place. Let's go. Haha. You know what, boy? I'm sorry. Ah! We're getting better at the game, guys. We're getting better. That's a wrap for our RTX 4080 Super Build Guide. Had a lot of fun testing out this rig, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.